Right. Thank you everyone for joining the demo class. What I'll take you through this or this demo class is give you a high level perspective of what we will be covering for in this session or this course. We'll be covering two main of the Adobe solutions, which is called as the Adobe Journey Optimizer and commonly abbreviated as AJO. Um, the other one is the Customer Journey Analytics, which is referred to as CJA, very commonly known. Um, so what I'll take you through is the agenda that we'll be covering as part of the Journey Optimizer. And then I'll switch over to Customer Journey Optimizer agenda. And then I'll make sure trying and give you a perspective of what are the courses or what are the modules that we will be covering as part of the two solutions. And between the presentation, I will switch over to, I'll be doing a back and forth between the presentation and the platforms so that it is more intuitive of what you will be learning, what are the different aspects, modules, features of each of these solutions. Having said that, please feel free to stop me during any point in time of of the presentation. If you have questions, concerns, or any sort of clarifications you need, feel free to jump in. Uh, Without further ado, I'll just jump into what are we going to cover as part of AJO. Okay, the first point is going to be covering, what is AJO, what are the capabilities, what are the challenges that business are facing as of today, and what are the key features of the solution that will help solve the business challenges. Okay, and then we'll go over the brief architecture. Then we'll be also configuring the campaigns, landing pages. Now, just to give you an idea what I'm talking about here, you'll be going through these, campaign promotions, creating campaigns. Again, this is just going through a brief idea of what the tool can provide, you know. So I just wanted to touch base on that. Then we'll be setting up the email configurations, which is kind of the primary setup that requires to deliver the um, promotional campaigns that you have created to the customers who are being, you know, who you are trying to target on specific journeys within the website or a mobile app or through various channels, whether it is push notification, email channel, through SMSs, and so on and so forth. Okay. Then we'll also be covering the configurations within the journey, which is another aspect of the Adobe Journey Optimizer. Okay. Now the configurations is this section. Okay. We'll be going into each of them and we'll be touching on what it does, what it means, and so on and so forth. Finally, the data management aspect of Journey Optimizer. Again, although the agenda doesn't mention about AP, which is the kind of the foundation for both of the platforms, I'll be covering only the basic aspects of Adobe Experience Platform. Again, I know things would be popping up. What is Adobe Experience Platform? Um, this is the platform, these two platforms, the Adobe Journey Optimizer and Customer Journey and Analytics, sit on top of a platform called as Adobe Experience Platform. I think most of may know about it, going through a lot of videos that Adobe have published. I want to make sure that those aspects of Adobe Experience Platform are covered, but it not in the depth that because this course is very focused on these two solutions. Not to forget that we do have another course track for Adobe Experience Platform where we go through the depth of what it is, how you ingest data, and so on and so forth. Okay, so having said that, I will jump into the another agenda of the Journey Optimizer, which will be covered. Now, as part of Journey customer journey analytics will be introducing, what is customer journey analytics? What are the new terms, concepts? Because you might relate to Adobe Analytics Workspace or Adobe Analytics in the concept. Okay. I mean, I just want to give you a feel of what that is. Okay. You've seen this. Yeah. Okay. Maybe if you've worked on Adobe Experience, Adobe Analytics, you've you've known what this interface looks like. So this is where we'll be covering some of the details, how the data is brought in. Excuse me. Then we will also be covering the architecture of CJA. Okay, I do have slides. I'll be touching base upon that too. Then we will talking about how CJA solves, profile unification. What is cross-channel insights? How data is brought together? What it means by attribution, that capabilities that it has. Attribution is first touch, last touch. What it means, so on and so forth. Then comes the activation part where you create segments. Then you share those segments to activate across your activation channels. Now, it may not be very intuitive, that word. It simply means that you create a cohort of customers and you deliver those customers to platforms like Facebook, where you want to target them. Okay. Then we will be talking about data preparations and planning around how do you connect the different sources that are brought into the platform. How can you stitch them together? Okay. We'll be talking about connections. Okay. Again, it also touches the basic aspects of API. Okay. How do you modify the connection, change the settings, and how would you add new connections? Okay. So all of that will be covered during the course. Okay. Now, it's a good segue into giving you a perspective of how the ecosystem looks like. Okay. When it comes to Adobe Experience Cloud, where are these two products? Where do these products sit? And so on and so forth. What I'll do is take a moment to make sure if people have questions, I'll address them. If not, I'll jump and continue through the ecosystem. Any
Hey,
questions?
Prasad, this is Sandy.
Hey.
So what is the source for both of these? Like, is that a data set from the AEP or?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is
For
the
both
data.
these platforms, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So
Eh,
for those who, again, this is the AEP or the Adobe Experience Platform, and these are all the data sets. Go ahead. Someone had a question.
Yeah, I had a question. Hey, this is Gopi here. So, CJA, is it completely different from Adobe Analytics, or is it something like that's the top of the Adobe Analytics?
That's a good question. So I would say it is not neither top of Adobe Analytics. It has similar capabilities that Adobe Experience Platform had,
Mhm.
but it has enhanced capabilities than Adobe Analytics had.
Okay.
So just to kind of differentiate what that means is Adobe Analytics is one data coming from your website or your mobile app.
Mhm.
It is only streaming data, right?
Okay.
Adobe did not have capabilities of combining two data, although now you can question and say, oh, classification is there. However, that is not a capability. You're just adding the
Uh,
data
that's a very
that
limited one.
had correct, right? Here in CGA, you have capabilities of omni-channel, meaning you have 10 sources.
Okay.
And let's say someone says and can, hey, I have a data which is
Mhm.
coming from CRM. Would you be
Okay.
able to connect that data? Well,
No,
the answer for Adobe Analytics was no.
no.
We would have to think of adding it through a data source, or you need to do it
APIs.
outside, or you need to
Mhm.
do using Power BI and so on and so
Yeah.
forth.
Okay.
Those sort of questions CJ answers, because everything is ingested through Adobe Experience Platform. See here, this
Mhm.
is the platform. The data is ingested here because then the data goes into customer journey analytics right here.
Okay.
I mean, I just want to make sure that question is addressed, but does that help? Okay.
Makes sense. And this can also be handled with the Adobe launch, right? Like what we do for Adobe Analytics.
Yes, that
Okay.
is another product of Adobe, or I should say a solution of Adobe, which allows to ingest data, excuse me, into Adobe Experience Platform. Okay, where you will be like, we have that course which is called as the Adobe Experience Platform. We could show how the data would be ingested, just to kind of give you a flavor of what that is. That's actually renamed. Again, Adobe keeps on changing names. So it's called data collection. This is
data
what,
collection, yeah.
yeah. So you would call create tags. This is no different from any tag management solution out there, like Telium, Google Tag Manager, and so on and so forth. So that solution is a complete different solution. Well, it's a tag management solution, I would say.
No, I know that. I mean, but I'm just
Sure.
trying to understand. I'm already handling this Adobe Analytics with Adobe Launch, but I'm trying to understand when it comes to customer journey analytics, is it going to be the same tag management solution, or is there any other solution for
No,
it?
that is going to be the same solution, which
Okay.
will, yeah, ingest into the platform again. Yeah. Yeah. That's where we go in depth of how the data goes into Adobe Analytics, how would that go into Adobe Experience Platform in depth, and Adobe Target, then Audience Manager, and so on and so forth. That's a a big chapter.
So, and this Adobe Journey Optimizer, I feel it's completely different from Adobe Analytics, right? Because I can see you are speaking about campaigns, something like that,
Yes.
right?
Yes. So it is an enhancement feature that most of the solutions, which, if you are aware about Adobe Campaign, right? Adobe Campaign, it is mass distribution of targeting customers through specific targeting capabilities. Like you want to deliver a campaign, you want to have a promotion to be delivered. Some of the capabilities of Adobe Campaign, with the capability of having to target customers during the journey, is another feature that is being added in the Adobe Journey Optimizer. There are similarities between Adobe Campaign and Journey Optimizer. However, Campaign may not be able to target customers during the journey. For example, you are in the process of purchasing. For some reason, you abandon the cart, right? Adobe Campaign would not do that. However, I won't say that it cannot, meaning it would be unfair. You will have another service that would work with Adobe Campaign to target those customers, right? How that sort of challenges which customers or companies had, where they have to use multiple systems to do all sort of targeting. They have a separate system for push notification. They would have another services for SMS, another service for email channel. All that is combined into one platform, which is the Journey Optimizer here. And the data is powered by Adobe, which means you are targeting the customer when the event occurs in the journey, or when the customer is trying to interact with your touch points. So that's what Journey Optimizer is. I know I've gone further than what the course I was going to cover, but anyways, that's a good question. So I wanted to make sure that is covered.
So Prasad, so what you're saying is that, if a customer is interacting with our system, like if they're interested in a particular product, and once they start an application and abandon that, we will be able to send some recommendations to that customer throughout the journey phase, right? Like the customer started and abandoned the app, and we can send a notification to finish the application. And so starting through the end of the application process, like just an example, there will be multiple phases, and we can be able to establish or send some notifications and all of that throughout the journey process, starting to an end. Is that what you're saying?
Well, what I'm saying is, I mean, the question that you've asked is a very broad question. So what I'm saying is during the journey process, okay, let's take that simple example of saying you are planning to purchase a product, right? You start doing a search, and then you reach a point where you identify, okay, the product that you want to buy, right? You add the product, right? These are all interactions that the customer is doing, right?
Yes.
And then finally he goes to checkout, and then he decides, or she decides, not the moment to buy the product, right?
Yeah.
They abandon, right?
Yeah.
Now you, I mean, that you can target the customer at any of the touch points, meaning
Yes.
you can target them when they did a PDP. You can target them when the moment they added the product, or you can say you can target the product when they um, um, been to the checkout, but they did not purchase after a certain interval of time, right? You can add something called as wait time. You can see here on my screen, you can here, right? I can do that. So what I'm saying is that you can interact with the customers at any of these touch points, depending on what you think is they should have made a purchase. You are trying to promote customers with converting during the process of purchase, right? You want to convert them. It may not necessarily be in this journey. It could be you want them, why didn't they fill the form? You want to know they have errored out. There were so many errors. So you want to know all those touch points so you can target them. So that's kind of how
multiple phases of a journey, we can do that in a single campaign. Is that correct?
multiple come again
Phases
with
of
that,
a
sorry.
journey. Multiple
Phases of a
phases,
journey.
like you have given an example right now, right, regarding the product. So if I want to condition like multiple phases, like abandoning or in the checkout, but I can include 2-3 multiple conditions in a journey. Is
Yes,
that correct?
yes,
Okay.
yes, absolutely. So like, for example, you like you want to create some sort of conditional events, right? So you want to have, let's say, in this case, I'm doing a read. You want to create a journey called, one second. So you want to create, you want to read certain set of audiences, and then you want to target, okay, whether they added the product or not. Okay, if they added the product, then you expect them to see if this product that they added, did you had a promotional campaign going on? So you can say, okay, if they did not make a purchase, you can promote that particular campaign to that customer at that touch point. Then you can add a different touch point where you can say, okay, people who use the product, or sorry, use the promotion, you give them a additional discount. People who did not, you want to say, okay, sorry, we lost you, maybe next time we could give you a better offer. Any sort of communication that you want to have with the customers, you can
With a single
in that
audience segment, right?
single audience. You can create specific reactions, meaning any sort of, again, I have not configured it because I wanted to use that clean slate when I'm actually doing it to show which comes, which gets into, creating data sources. For example, you want to promote customers based upon the weather. So you want to give them discount based upon their location of near a store. You can, ingest that data. Or again, these are some complex examples that I'm taking, but I'm saying these are all possible examples.
Yeah.
So you can bring the data, then you can create the events, which are reactions or customer engagements. Then you can create actions like, okay, how you want to send that promotion through email, SMS, push notification, whatnot. And then finally do reporting. So
got it. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
I can also do like an on-demand journeys that I can build. There is a new page that we build something on the website, right? We just want to test that. Like, we didn't see many clicks or many people stuck on that page, and then they left the website and never came back. If we want to test that, like, do we do that here, right? Getting that data, like, where did they stop, and then uh, um, do we build out a journey, saying something like, hey, looks like you're stuck here, come back, or call someone here, here is the customer care number, we'll solve that one for you.
So if your use case is to see how that particular page is performing, I mean, I won't use this solution. I mean,
Okay.
there are Adobe Target. I mean, it all depends on what is the use case. So this tool is for promoting your product. You're promoting
Okay.
your page. You're trying to target those customers through the different offers that are going on. Like
Sure.
it's more.
I think I think
Yeah,
the way I asked you is different. So what I was
sure, sure.
thinking is,
Hmm.
like set of customers, right? Set of customers bought a pair of shoes, right? And
Hmm.
then after a month or so, we had a similar one with the different features that we have launched, right? And then we can take that sort of audience and send out an email saying, hey, here is something you might like. Will that scenario fit into the
Oh
journey?
yes, absolutely.
Okay,
That's kind of
perfect. Then
where. Yeah. So here, so um, uh, let this load, and then I'll show you, which is a perfect segue to see this read audience.
mm-hmm.
Okay, you would create that cohort or that segment in the platform, Adobe Experience platform. See audiences, where is that audiences? Here,
Yeah.
right? And that's exactly the uh, group of customers. So for example, here I have this dummy one. Say you're targeting the women's category on a website, right? So this segment, I can find it here and read that segment in here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically,
So
the source is a segment that we build in,
yeah.
in the AEP.
Yeah. So let me filter that out. See, I can see so many segments. So I say Luma's category, or in your case, it could be something, you could name it anything you want.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
and then you read it, right? Then you provide a namespace, like, how do you want to target this customer? Email,
Okay.
or identify that customer. So you would say email, right? Reading rate, like how many do you want to read during that? Profiles, you can define it. Everything can be done here. Again, this is all powered by Experience platform.
Yeah. Where
I
does
mean, the
that all
data
that
is powered by.
fancy work will be done? When a customer gets an email, right? There will be a lot of pictures, another.
That, yeah, that's this section. Creating campaigns, landing pages. You would create right here. See, this is the one. So you would create, drag and drop, um, select the style, design. I mean, I'm not good at all this stuff in terms of designing, but I'll show you
Yeah.
how system works. But then you can drop images,
Sure.
um,
Okay.
so like, here, and then I could say browse. I mean, you will have assets, which is where you upload all your content. Yeah. I know
Yeah.
that's not what I wanted to show, but you get the
Sure.
point.
Sure. Yeah. I got it.
Um, so you can say you have your customer is like automobile, so you can target, select, it loads. I mean, again, what I meant to say by that, I'm not good at designing, but I can show you how the features are and how you can use and all that. So yeah, just wanted to make
Okay, got it.
And then you can create layers and so on and so forth, social media links, and so on and so forth. Anyways, any other
Can we do
questions?
batch? Yeah, can we do batch campaign in AJO using AJO?
Batch campaign. I don't think that feature is added yet, but I'll take that as a question to follow up. But yeah, I don't think that that batch campaign is added.
Because if the AEP segment has multiple customers, right? So, and then when I create a journey, ideally it should execute a batch campaign, right? Rather than an event-based campaign.
Batch campaign instead of an event-based campaign. I may need to understand your question a little more there. So, I mean, you can slice the use case scenario in several different ways. So batch campaign, what do you mean exactly by batch campaigning? Like you want
So,
to
yeah, if I
target
wanted,
specific customer? Go ahead.
yeah, sorry. So if I wanted to basically target 1 million customers with an offer, right? For example, take a use case like I'm looking for a product in my warehouse, and once the product pops up, immediately I'll execute the batch campaign for 1 million customers, right? So that's the event-based campaign with a batch flow, correct? Do you understand?
Okay. Yeah.
Did you get me?
Yes, I do. So you're saying that you have a set of customers that you want to target, right? Like sort of a subscription list, right? Correct, right? You can do that here. Say, I want to target these customers given in this date range, and you can distribute the promotion that you want to do. Yes, that is there. You can either upload the data, or you can use the data that is already in the system. Like what I'm referring to is this Adobe Experience Platform. You can do. Again, I want to be very careful when I say anything, because Adobe Campaign and AJO has similarities, but it is not competing with Adobe Campaign. It's a very specific, it has very specific features that it is used for, or very specific use cases.
So can we say that only if we have AEP, then AJO works? Can we say that?
Only if we have
AJO,
AEP.
So AJO
Yes.
as a standalone product, it will not work, right? So we'll have to have AEP knowledge to work on AJO, right?
You can create landing pages, upload data through the subscription list. You can deliver, specific. So like all the channels, right? We have different channels, right? You have SMS, push notification. You can use it, but you won't use that feature only for those use cases. The product is built for more advanced use cases. So you can use it, but I mean, to your point, I would say yes. Of course, that it is ideal to have AEP and a combination of AJO to enhance your use cases, because other systems would not have one centralized location to store all your data. This would have, because the data is centralized in Adobe Experience Platform. Right. I hope that answers your questions. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Any other questions? Okay. All right. So now moving on to the clouds, the ecosystem of Adobe Experience Cloud. As you can see, there are so many products that are available. Our focus area is with regards to customer journey analytics, Adobe Journey Optimizer, which is right here. these two products are definitely powered by the data coming from the Adobe Experience Platform. So these two products would require the data coming from Adobe Experience Platform to kind of make the full use of these solutions to get to your business questions. Okay. Now, moving to what is AJO. I think most of my answers to your questions addressed it, but I'll make sure we touch base on this. So this is another new application solution by Adobe, built natively on top of Adobe Experience Platform. The purpose is to kind of empower customers, focused to orchestrate and deliver personalized messages, campaigns across multiple channels, like push notification, emails. All of that is powered by the data which is centralized into one platform, which is Adobe Experience Platform, which means you don't have to go into multiple systems to kind of get and retrieve the data to what your business use cases are. Okay. Now, AJO can create, orchestrate, and deliver, as you've seen some of the glimpse of it, which we will be covering in depth on during the session. It will help you schedule marketing programs and outreach on a cadence to your customers that you've brought in, or customers are typically called as profiles, a technical term. So you can bring any sort of data, and it would you can tailor the message based on your use cases, on how you want to reach your customers, like through push notification or different channels of your that are available within the within company's platform. Now, AJO, there are different environments, right? Meaning you have dev environment, production environment, so on and so forth. They do have those capabilities. So as of now, you can see we are in the dev environment. You can switch over to production environment. And so it gives you a little bit of capabilities of doing your testing prior to productionizing your campaigns. Now, touching base on how the data is brought in. As you can see, AP plays a critical role for specific use cases, right? Since we are targeting customers during their touch points, okay, you need to bring that data into Adobe Experience Platform, because that's how the data is brought in, because it is a common, you create a common blueprint of the data that you bring in. Okay, what I mean by that blueprint is like one schema. You don't have all the scattered tables that you used to have. Okay, schema represents something like here. Okay, these are the schemas. So you create one schema, and that schema would define how the data is brought in, right? So all that information is stored in one centralized solution. That way you get a single view of the customer, instead of you trying to query against multiple systems and getting bottleneck to get more answers. So all that data would be stored in one. There you can create multiple segments which can be shared across multiple platforms, including Adobe Journey Optimizer. Okay, now there are things that have been outlined here. You have Journey Canvas, which we saw here. Okay, okay, which is this one. This is called, well, that was the name of the journey. If this is called the canvas. Okay, then you can create based on segments, triggered based on events. You can add conditions and so on and so forth, and then you can take actions on it, whether you want to send an email, push notification, whatnot. Channels refers to what sort of communication method that you would like to utilize. Again, it has several different channels, and so on and so forth right here. Okay, so you have SMS, these all need to be configured, and we need to kind of do that during the session, and we'll see how deep we want to go there. Now, configurations is about rules where you need to create the campaigns which you have created here, your landing paging campaigns, which you will be using the designer, designing the campaign, and making sure that there is a capability. Sorry for that. You can upload your pre-built campaigns and upload it into the system. Okay, I think close without saving. I can show it. Yeah, open designer. Yeah, right here. You can upload, you can write your own code, HTML code, or you can design from the scratch. Okay, so you can use pre-built formats that you can use. Okay. Now, then we talked about what are the different channels that you want to kind of target your customers, and this is how the data flows into. Now there's a reporting capability. Well, the reporting capability is very limited. It'll tell you how many messages, how many profiles you delivered, what profiles you have sent the message, or whether they have clicked on it, and not those information you would receive. Again, if you need advanced analysis, that's where you need to jump into customer journey optimizer. Again, I mean, since this is a demo, I'm just trying to give you a very high level insights of what the course is and so on and so forth. Okay, now I will jump into customer journey optimizer. Okay, now customer journey optimizer can do a lot many things. Okay, which our legacy Adobe Analytics was not. Like I mentioned, you cannot bring in data from your CRM. You can, but you have to do it. You have to alter the data such that it can be brought into the limited capabilities that it had. You didn't have capabilities of, for example, you didn't have capabilities of unlimited variables, right? Because if people who have worked on Adobe Analytics, it is very limited. You have 255 EVARs if you are a premium customer, on 75 props, and then you have some standard variables, and then you have 1,000 events. That's all you had. Here, the data, there is no limitation on the number of data points you want to use. It's all in your control. Then, for example, if you were to do advanced analysis, like you want to run some ML models, then you have to download the data through data feeds, and then you need to, I mean, data feed is another capability of Adobe Analytics, where here there's this data is already available in the platform here, and you can use the query services to kind of write a query to fetch a data, and or you can also do data science capabilities. You can write a Python program to do further analysis, right? All that capability was not available. Okay, then you have that's the SQL magic, right? And then you have the ability to create views on the fly. What I mean by that is, let's say I want to connect data between the web analytics of your website, and I want to connect with CRM, right? In Adobe Analytics, that the capabilities were limited. You can't do the join on the fly. Here you can do the join on the fly, which is called as connections. That sort of feature was not available in Adobe Analytics. Okay, so right here, that's the view of the my bad, I should show you this diagram. This is a very high level. Okay, see, you can bring in multiple data sets. So here in the example that I would like to give you is that, okay, you have loyalty data, you have the website data coming from your mobile app or the website, and then you have the CRM data, and then you have call center data. You can bring them in one view. You could stitch them by providing what are the primary keys, and then you would create a view, and then it will give you a project, which is nothing but our same old workspace. That view is called this report suite in the legacy world of Adobe Analytics. Is that making sense? And I want to make sure I take a pause and get if there are questions that I can address.
Yeah, it's making sense.
Okay, cool. Now, so CJA solves for profile unification. Profile unification is trying to stitch the data from different disparate sources. How would you bring that data? How would you connect that data? Then how would you bring the cross-channel data? You have companies have different websites. They want to unify their data. There could be an implementation where the data is sent into one report suite, and then after sometimes the company says we are building another site. Okay, and some other consulting firm comes and say, oh, we'll create another report suite, we'll send that data. Now, how would you bring those data to a unified level? There was no capability. Then you have to do the implementation, and then you have to rewrite the code. And there are so many things we have to consider after the fact. So here, no, easy. You just bring the two data sets, join them, you know what the keys are, just join them. Attribution, right? Attribution is like, again, the same thing. Whether you want to change the data, the dimension to be utilized in the last touch channel, or you would say you want to use different algorithmic attribution that is there, like the J attribution. You want to use that. For that, the challenges would be, oh, we have limited EVAR, and you want to kind of utilize the EVAR for something else. Here, you can go back to the settings of the data views. You can create or you can duplicate the dimension to say, okay, I want to use this dimension to be reflected as the first touch, second dimension as last touch, right? You can make the changes, create that view, and you can literally bring that, okay? Or you can say, I want to have the dimension to be behaved as a metric, or a metric to be behaved as a dimension. You can do all that. So that are some of the features that have been introduced. Activation, right? Activation, again, you created a segment, you want to share that segment into your activation platform, which is Adobe Analytics, right? Here you would go into the activation section, and then you would use that segment to be utilized on your Facebook or your Google AdWords. You can do that because all these products are seamlessly integrated. Then what I want to talk about is a little bit of the architecture of the customer journey analytics, just to kind of give equal weightage to the two solutions since it's a demo. So here, the source is not going to change because it's the same source, right? We have the data coming from any of your sources, okay, which is your website, mobile app. And again, this SDK refers to, I think someone asked the question there on data collection or the Adobe launch, right? That's the role, that how would you bring this data? This particular platform brings the data. The library is referred to as SDK. You can bring in the cloud so buckets, which is your Azure. Again, talking about that is the source, okay? You have so many sources. You can bring data from your native solutions, or you can go to cloud-based solutions like Amazon, Azure Blog, um, Google Cloud Storage, and so on and so forth. Or you can bring in the customs FTP, common one. So that's the source.
One question I have is regarding SDK. You're talking about Web SDK?
Yes, you can refer to Web SDK or mobile SDK. Yeah,
mobile SDK.
sure.
Okay. And will you go over those two items in the class?
No, because these are related to customer journey analytics and Adobe Analytics. Sorry, customer journey analytics and AJO. I'll be focusing on the features of these two platforms. For that, we have this another course, which is the Adobe Experience Platform. So I'll give you a view of that too. Since you asked that question, we do have that course, but I'll show you 1 second. I have to pull the presentation. Just give me a minute. Where is that presentation? Oh, right here. So 1 second. It's going to take a while, but I'll pull that presentation. Okay, that's where we go into the depth of it. Again, we go into creating what you are just asked, you know. Yeah, creating streams. This is a different course, right? We talk about, you know, setting this up. Again, we'll be going in depth of all that. Where is the Adobe data collection? I think I had it somewhere. Yeah, I don't know why. So we'll be setting that up. We'll be creating data streams, website, and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's going to be another course.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any other questions?
So the source for the Adobe Analytics is the launch, and then you know, AEPs for the customer journey analytics. Is that a fair statement?
The source for
CJA
Adobe
is AEP, and the source for Adobe Analytics is launch.
No, I won't say that. The source is any data that you want to bring into the platform, right? One is for simplicity. I mean, again, this is my thought process or viewing at it. The source is like your source is the data in your table, so you want to bring that data, right? That is something that is an inbuilt capability of Adobe Experience Platform. That is not a feature or a capability available in Adobe Analytics. There is a hack, is how I would put it. You can bring into classification and you can bring that and upload that data, right? Now, when it comes to bringing data from Adobe Launch is like, it's simply like you're scraping the data from website or app and you're ingesting into platform. These are two different solutions. So one is your Adobe Analytics, right? You can directly ingest into that, or you can ingest into Adobe Experience Platform here. So so it's like two pipelines going into these two different solutions. Does that make sense?
Makes sense now.
Yeah. And again, not to shoot, I did close that. Not to confuse, but I want to also mention, if you know, the data that is collected in Adobe Analytics, you can bring into this platform, which is the Adobe Experience platform through source connectors. Okay. Where is that? Here, see, Adobe Analytics.
Got
okay.
it. Yeah.
So there's so many backdoors that you can bring all this data, but yeah, anyways. Well, as part of the demo, I had the content that I wanted to present, I have presented, but I'll keep the floor open for any questions or concerns that you might have. Again, I can go and talk about it, but I think I'll just keep the floor.
Yeah, one question I have is regarding
Sure.
the environment. Now, will you provide access to the environment?
Yes, that's going to be, yes, that will be provided. Well, I will let Sudhakar answer that question. As part of the training, I'll be taking over you through the tour of all of this. If you need access, there'll be like a specific session that you have to work with Sudhakar. Go ahead, Sudhakar, please.
Yeah. So we'll provide the access, but that is a remote access we are providing. And
okay.
If you want to practice at any time, you can reach out to us, and we'll give you the remote access at any time.
And how many days is the course?
So go ahead, Sudhakar.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Okay, so it's like the course is to kind of cover these topics that I've put together, and it'll be almost like, roughly 18 to 20 hours. I mean, it all depends to make sure what the topic is covered to its depth and the breadth of it as deep as possible. And we'll make sure all the questions are addressed. We'll try and demo and all that will be done. Yeah. I mean, this is just on the Adobe Journey Optimizer and CJA. It's combined together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just in case, yeah.
Sorry. So this sandbox has permissions, to go over each element there, or each section.
Yes, and it does. It does. So we'll be setting up like now. Email sending is something that requires some servers and all that, right? But we'll show you how that is done, and we'll show you how the data flows in, how you can tap into it, and how the data, like for example, you would test a journey, right? Like for example, I can't show it right now, but we will be showing like how the data does, how the journey is created, how the data flows into it, and then you can show you a preview of how the data would look like if the customer, once the email is sent, right? But we can't show you the exact demo of showing, okay, this email has been received on this server. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. Just like a few practical sessions.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it'll be
perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
So is it the same for SMS setup as well, like the text messaging?
Yes. So it is. So just to say, just to be clarifying that question. So these are all the channels, right? You will be able to preview the content of when the message is delivered. How would it show? But we will not be delivering to these channels. Okay, like SMS, the setup requires contacting Adobe to have permissions to set and configure. The process is too complicated. Okay, you need a production environment to do that. And that sort of setup requires a lot of configuration settings, whitelisting, and it's a cost that it goes beyond the training sessions. Yeah. So what I'm trying to convey is very simple. You will see a preview of it. right? Just to get a flavor of, oh, this is how it would look, but it will not be actually delivered to these channels. Okay.
Yeah. Got it.
Cool. Sounds good.
I have a question on this journey optimization, not journey. Customer journey analytics. So
Customer journey analytics.
Yeah. So will it be more of reporting side, right? The post will focus more on
Yes.
reporting.
Yes,
And
it's going to be.
I'm trying to understand, like when you say we can also stitch data. So that interface, I see it's more of like Adobe Analytics. So
Yes, so it's going to be more of this, but we'll be taking you through how the data is stitched and all that. So it'll be like, I'll show you a glimpse of it.
Sorry, I got
yeah, I'll
dropped.
show. Oh, no, good. I don't have that. I'll show you what that looks like, but I don't have that as of now.
Okay.
But yeah. It's like what I mentioned is talking about connections. I'm pretty sure I have that mentioned here. I mean, right, wait. Yeah, data sets, connections, correct. I forgot I had it. Yeah, so we'll be showing what that connection is, then data views, and yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Prasad, I mean, in the segments, right? Do you have any kind of test or a sample data there to create journeys, or are we going through the slides only?
No, we'll be creating. No, we'll be ingesting data. Yes, we'll be.
Okay. Yeah, just
Yeah.
want to make
So
sure that.
yeah, that is going to be there. I mean, as of now, I have not done it. I mean, like.
But we have
Built the
full
environment.
permissions on the sandbox to
Oh
do
yeah.
anything related to the journey optimizer.
Yeah, so if I'm not mistaken, I had created a schema. Yeah, I've done that. But if not, I'll create and show you. Yeah, we do.
So is it the schema creation or journey as well?
Schema creation or journey as well. Sorry, what's the question? Sorry, I didn't understand the question there.
So what you're saying is that you have created some schemas, right? But the question I have is that are we gonna create journeys?
Yes, we'll be creating journeys. Yes, we'll be creating journeys.
I think I understood the question, Prasad. So what Chinvita is asking is, how does it relate these schemas to the journeys? We need data to be in the data sets, right? So for that, we need to have schemas. So I think that's what Prasad is talking about. And
Yeah,
then
so
once we have the
these.
data into the data set, that's when the data source will be available.
So here, this is the data source. You will be having the different data sources that you have. Okay, you'll be selecting the fields. This is something we'll be creating, and then how this data source will be used. Like for example, let's see, we'll create one. Okay.
Are you going to use the Luma data
Yes.
for these journeys? Okay.
Yeah, that's the plan. Yeah. Well, I will have to do that. Creating data sources. Yeah, this is event data. I need to create 1 second. Manage, create events. Okay, we'll be going through what are the different types of events that you couldn't create, unitary versus rule-based events. And we'll be talking depth of it, and then we'll be looking at the schemas here. So you have loyalty schema, then you will be selecting conditions, creating conditions, you'll be selecting fields, what data you want to bring in, and so on and so forth. So it'll be a deep dive into all of creations, and then we'll be creating a simple journey and showing you, okay, here's how the data flows in. So that's going to be created. Does that answer, Shinvita?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you also going to create these email surfaces for the channel surface for the?
Yeah, it'll be created, but it may not be working. I mean, I won't
Sure.
be, we won't be have access to it. It's Adobe servers. So yes, we'll be
Yeah.
creating, I'll be walking through, like let's just walk a walkthrough of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that'll be enough.
Sure.
We don't want to generate the emails, but if you could elaborate and
Sure. Absolutely.
if you could tell us that, we can use that in our real-time use cases.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's like creating, going through, you need to define your subdomains. Yeah, you need to create your landing paging subdomains, the PTR records. I mean, these are all like administrative inputs that you would get from your network administrators and people who maintain it. I will elaborate to a level that I understand, or how I simply understand it, so that you can leverage it. Then you can whitelist your email pools. Then you could use your suppression list, which is kind of, hey, I don't want to target X, Y, and Z customers, only the rest which are in profile. So we'll be doing some a walkthrough of it, and so on and so forth. Yeah. And then APIs, well, these are all like very advanced. I mean, I can walk you through this, but we will not be covering all that in depth. Okay.
Okay.
Then you'll be essentially creating surfaces. Like here you have push notification, SMS. You just have to, like, you need to select it, and then you need to enter the configurations, which we'll be walking through. Yes.
Okay.
Prasad, so I have a question. Is there anything like any restrictions in CJA, like what you said in AJO? Like, I think that is more of data related thing, right? So will there be any restrictions on that in this training?
Uh,
Like, say for example, in this case, right, AJO said it's not possible to send the real time
yeah.
email
Okay.
because.
Yes. So I get your question. Thank you. Yes. So right now the product is this particular sandbox account is granted by Adobe. It does not have product admin access. Okay. For product admin access, you need for customer journey analytics, you need to have product admin access in order to create connections and data views.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but I will make sure that those details will be covered in depth. It's not going to be like, it's going to be telling you through the process of how you create it, what it means. Okay. It's more of creating a selection of the drop down list. I'll explain in depth of what it means, how do you do, what that connection is required, how these data would switch, because end of the day, all the data would reside here. And the queries that we write, like for example, joining data set 1 and data set 2, you will join a query using a join keys, right?
Yeah.
And that's exactly the same thing you would do using the interface. That's the connection piece. That's no different.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll be going through adding very specific details, like in like slides and screenshot. Although I don't have, but I'll make sure that that is going to be added. Yes,
Okay.
definitely. Because see, we are using Adobe's sandbox. They'll give us access only to a level. They won't give production access or product admin access. So
Good.
yeah. So yeah. Any other questions?
No, hi Prasad. So I'm assuming that the CJA can do what all Adobe Analytics can do, and more than that. Are they planning to replace the Adobe Analytics soon?
Well, it's not going to go anytime soon, for sure, because Adobe Experience Platform is an expensive product. You, they can't just take away such that. If they would have announced it in the Adobe Summit. I've been to Adobe Summit. There's no announcement of that, and at least, excuse me, for 2 years, or I don't think that's going to be brought down anytime soon, because a lot of customers are using it.
But what if customers, are using Adobe Experience Platform? They can migrate from analytics to CJA, right?
Yeah, of course they can.
Yeah, they have to also.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I mean, it's not enforced yet, because see, it's like I said, you have sources. Where is the sources? Here. You can bring that data. It's not mandate as of now. Correct?
But
you can
yeah,
bring
but migrating to CJA would make sense, right? Like you have that, you have AEP, and you have all the data flowing into AEP. Then it's no use of having Adobe Analytics. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, again, that is more of a decision that the CMOs have to make. How much money they have to shell out, it all depends on them. So yeah, definitely. Any other questions?
This is CJA is capable to do like all the web analytics tracking, like all the CTA clicks. Is it? Can we think in that way?
No. CJA is not going to track things. It is a analysis platform to do analysis on the data that is collected by Adobe Launch.
Okay.
No, I think that's what he means. Like, he's asking, like, is it something like Adobe Analytics? Can we also see those events here? So I think those data can be tracked, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, if that is the question, I apologize. I misinterpreted it. So if that was your question of looking at,
like by using Adobe Launch and Adobe Analytics, we can track like in-depth content interactions happening on the website, right? So can we do those things with CJA?
Yes. So the data that you collect using Launch that you send into Adobe Analytics, the same data and the way you were using Adobe Analytics, you can use the same data, bring that data into CJA and do the analysis that you used to do on Adobe Analytics. Yes. So you can see EVARs, props, events, exactly same thing you'll see. You can apply attribution, you can apply, expiration, you can apply,
classification.
Classification is inbuilt. When I say classification, there are three types of data you can bring in, right? Event, right? You can bring in events, which is time based. You can bring in profile based, which are specific to customer attributes. Okay. And then you can bring in lookup data, which is nothing but classification data for example, Adobe product classification. So those are the different types of data that you can bring in. Yes.
Yeah.
Does that answer? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Prasad.
Yeah. And of course, I'll be adding screenshots so that you can make sure you understand what it means. I'll give you a in-depth walkthrough of it. Yeah. So.
Hey, one last question, Prasad.
Oh, please, go ahead.
So in the journey optimizer, right, like you were showing something which has a suppression. Is there a way in journey optimizer to just dump a batch data into that and not have that data sitting in the data set like a lookup, and not email those clients, like for example, like if we have some consents, all the consent data or the suppression data,
Yeah.
like do
So
not email, do not call data, do we have to put that in the platform, or is that something we can just dump it? Or like I saw an option like where you can upload the CSV file.
yeah, data governance. So I think you're talking about data governance and data upload. So
We don't have to go through this now, but just
sure.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You can upload here, right? You can upload the file here, and also you can. I think you asked, one second. I'm trying to recollect what you asked. Yes. So you want, let's say you don't want these data to be used by the third-party vendor. You can put governance. See, data governance. I think I think we had this
I think
class.
we covered this. Yeah, I think
This
I
in
need to go
remember.
through that.
Okay, I
Yeah,
think you
yeah,
were
yeah.
part of that class, right? So you can add that
I
here.
think that I was the
And
one who asked that question. But
sure. Yeah. So you can add those, like you can put in sensitive labels. These are predefined labels. I mean, Adobe is also providing customization labels, so you can add that. I don't think that option is, it's in beta version. It's not added. Yes, you can add that and restrict that data to be shared with any other products within the ecosystem. Yeah.
got it. I'll go through that again.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Any other questions?
Prasad, would you suggest this course for someone who's new to analytics world? Because I'm a solution architect in the AEM world, and I'm just trying to explore the analytics. So, would you recommend this to start with?
So recommending to learn about Adobe Analytics, correct? Or analytics world, right? Going into the analytics world.
Yeah.
I would
Yes.
say, yeah. I mean, I've been. Go ahead. Finish your thought, and I'll come behind you.
Or there is any prerequisite before I'll be able to attend the session. So, because the fellow mates here, they obviously have worked with either Adobe Analytics or other tools, right? I don't have that experience, so will it be fruitful for me?
I think it'll be fruitful. Again, I'll just give you data points that you can assess and make the decision. So one thing, if you know about content management and you worked in AEM, right? Adobe Experience Manager, right? That's where your expertise are, right? See, content management, that where you upload the assets, those assets are synced. Again, I'm mentioning in the context of if you are using Adobe products or products that are within the ecosystem, those are so well integrated that if you are aware, because you will be more knowledgeable than me, is what I would, I believe so, because AEM is another world where you would be using creating fragments, assets, and all of that would build up an entire page, or a series of pages, and so on and so forth. And those sort of details will be brought into this as long as the accounts are synced up, and then you can use and create those content within your landing pages. So you can literally create a landing page here, and those can be used for targeting a customer. Say if the customer wants to unsubscribe, right? And then you want to present them unsubscription landing page. You know what I mean? All that can be created through here.
Yes, I understand
So
that knowledge will help me here. I'm just
yeah.
trying to understand this course here. Will it be more of will it require like a prerequisite that you have the knowledge of Adobe Analytics or other tools in that world?
Yes. I would say yes, because as part of the this particular course, it will require some basic understanding of the basic terms of analytics. Okay, like people will bring in what is an EVAR. You know, most of them will be able to connect. And I don't know whether you're familiar with that. So I would say yes, a pre-knowledge is very beneficial for this course. So this is like, I would say, if you have knowledge of Adobe Analytics, then no problems. You'll be able to catch it up. If you do not, then I won't recommend you. To be very honest, keeping my hand on the heart and saying that. So yeah, I would not recommend.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for the honest assessment. Yeah. Thank you.
Please. Yeah, no problem. Any other questions? All right. Thank you all. Again, before we wrap up, any other last questions?
How does the jobs will be in this area? Do they look for experience in CJA and AJO, something like that, or do they need AEP in addition to this?
So yeah. So you're asking question of what sort of roles that are available in the market, right? In the context, if you learn this product.
Yes.
I mean, see, I can talk in terms of these two solutions. One solution is talking about how would you use the data and analyze and give insights about customers coming onto your web property or website, right? Which means that you need analysis skill set or analyst skill set, or you can, I would say, if you know stats, then you use the capability of SQL to kind of write more advanced analysis queries, right? That is one field, right? This is all the analyst world. Now, if you look from the, and again, this refers to the product, which is customer journey analytics, right? Then the other one is the journey optimizer, which is like, how would you build a campaign, how like content, your landing pages, which is like a combination of creative knowledge and then a knowledge of how would you target the customers, right? How would you build the journey, right? Which will involve the knowledge of being a data engineer, of tapping into events, creating those events, bringing the data into the platform, which is the data source, the events that is there in the Adobe Experience platform, so on and so forth. So that is another different skill set. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
Okay. So there are two different roles. The market is in demand for these. I mean, this is a new product.
Yeah.
And obviously there's like a lot of questions on how do you build it? How would you create it? And these questions, people need answers, or people who have that skill set, they are looking for that. So
yeah,
and
like
they're keeping,
if a company is trying to move to CJA, then
absolutely
they look for a candidate like who has experience in this. Is it my question is like, is it just one knowledge on CJA would be enough for them, or do they look in addition to that? Okay, this the job requirement will be like I need a candidate with the Adobe Analytics and CJA and campaign manager. Do they go together, or is just like AJO and CJA would be enough like for a role?
Sure.
Yeah.
So my honest opinion on that is, see, these are two different solutions. Okay. And the reason we have combined them is because the course is like short, and we want to make sure that we give the flavors of both, and make sure that these are specific products for specific purposes. Now, if you ask me the question of how customers or companies are looking at, they are looking at a combination of people who understand AP and AJO, right? Because the foundation is how do you bring the data, right? And there are companies who are very specifically looking at AJO, because that is all specific to orchestration of journey when you want to target a customer during a specific thing. And also, if you know of how the campaigns are being delivered, that's an add-on, right? So I would say a combination of AEP and AJO goes well. A combination of AEP, CJA goes well. Does that make sense? So one who brings the data and does analysis, that's AEP, CJA. One who brings the data, understands to create the journey to target these customers, that's another skill set. So, I mean, you can know all of it, or you can know only very specific of it. I mean, that's my way of looking at it. Again, different people might have different opinions, but yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Prasad. Yeah.
Hi, Prasad. So when you say AEP, right, what are the all, I would say, product comes under?
What all products? So there are features of AEP, okay? Like I talked about AEP, we have identity, profile, segmentation, ingestion. Data collection is your Adobe launch, right? You can write queries. You can do write Python scripts to run your models. Data governance. I think I talked about data governance in the sense you do not want to use this data to deliver content to your Facebook products or platforms, or AdWords platform. Then that is data governance. Oh, sorry, destination. So these are some of the built-in features of Adobe Experience Platform.
Okay.
Make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
And only the very specific features are brought into AJO. See, the UI is no different. See, it's almost the same.
Initially, I was also like quite confused why these two items were combined. I was like trying to figure it out. Like, is there anything interrelating to it?
Yeah, see here, it's all like, that's why AEP is the foundation, and then others are consumers of the data.
Okay.
See, customer journey analytics, and then that's where it goes to data insights and activation, right? And that's why Adobe Analytics is there, but they can stand by themselves. I mean, there's ways to interpret this diagram, but just wanted to highlight that.
So one
see,
thing, like Adobe customer journey analytics, we know, like thinking like an advanced version in future of Adobe Analytics, right? Like any data source, and there is no limits of events, props. It's like a Google Analytics, event based. They can have a number of events, like connecting everything to like a Looker Studio, kind of. But coming to this AJO, I'm quite confused. Like, what is the background of AJO? I was never exposed to any of these targets, campaigns, or anything. So AJO optimizer is something like new, but what is the background? So for customer journey analytics, we know background like same like Adobe Analytics. If you understand that, it's fair enough. Like you're connecting different source of data, and data have schema, and all schema we can use one identifier like UUID from the customer, and stitch all data together. This is kind of like a little my understanding.
Sure. Makes sense.
Coming
So
to this AJO, I'm like completely blank.
Sure.
What is background for AJO? Journey analytics is Adobe. It's straightforward, but yeah, for AJO is like target. We're targeting just users based on like A/B testing. Now we are targeting users based on journey. Like once we, I was like recently after looking into this, I just got like a flash when we add some items in the cart and Amazon and we never buy, we get like targeted emails. Hey, your item is in cart. You go ahead and buy it.
That's exactly this platform. So the example that you get where they say, hey, there's an item that you have left, you want to purchase, and they give you offer, right? How do they give their offer? They do have events listening to those offers, meaning what you added to the product. Why are they not buying it? So you want to promote.
Yeah.
So though that is the capability of Journey Optimizer.
Okay.
So for example, how would you listen to that event? So the event is created in the platform and you listen to that event and you trigger the promotion or send an email. You get an email, right? That email is defined in the channels. You configure the channels and you would target them.
Okay. Yeah.
Makes sense? Okay, cool.
Yeah, sure.
All right. I think we'll just, I'm going to wrap up today's demo session and then we'll continue in our next session.
So next session is going to be starting Monday.
We'll convey that. I need to speak to Sudhakar and then we'll convey that information to you. Is that okay?
Okay. Yeah, I just want to know when the dates are going to be.
Sure. We'll convey that. Through Sudhakar is going to convey that to the WhatsApp group that they have. So you will know.
Sure. Sounds good. Thank you so much, Prasad. This is very
no worries. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful morning and take care.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Yeah, take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.